Being a YouTuber is one of the most desirable jobs on the planet. You literally just talk to a camera and dump trucks full of money show up at your house. The hardest thing is actually gathering up all of that cash before it blows away. Well, that's what most people think anyway. When truth be told, the hardest part about making any video is the preparation. Creating the script, doing the storyboard, planning the shots, it all takes a tremendous amount of time. Enter Subscriber, a brand new lifetime deal over at AppSumo. I'm very excited to try out Subscriber in this video so I can tell you whether or not I would recommend it for creating YouTube videos. What Subscriber does is analyze your channel, learns about your brand and your voice, and then helps you by creating both video ideas as well as full-blown scripts utilizing AI. My name is Dave, and I review lifetime deals every single day of the week. If you enjoy this sort of content, make sure you get subscribed to this channel. And if you find this video to be helpful, or you just want to throw me some support, click on my AppSumo link in the description. That'll give me a small commission, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. All right, onwards to the subscriber deal page on AppSumo before we do a deep dive. Okay, so here is Subscriber. It is currently $59 for tier 1. However, you're gonna want at least tier 2, and let me show you why. If we check out the plan details here, tier 1 doesn't include almost any of the features. We're literally just getting some video ideas. But if you want all of the other features, you're gonna need to move up to tier 2, which is $99. That's the one I purchased to make this video. So for 99 bucks, I'm gonna get unlimited ideas, but I'm also going to get 20 script writing sessions, or basically credits. So the AI can write me 20 different scripts per month. I'll also get a single channel and a single user, which is fine for the purpose of this video. I get all of the other features. They all have checkboxes next to them versus tier 1, which has virtually nothing. Of course, if you need more credits, there are bigger plans available. It goes all the way up to tier 5 here. And if you do get tier 5, you get a bunch of things unlimited, like unlimited channels and unlimited users, as well as 400 scripts per month. That's a lot of scripts. The only other thing to note is that Subscriber is currently at a slight discount. The price is going to go up in about 5 days and 21 hours as of the recording of this video. By how much, I'm not exactly sure, but typically anywhere from 10 to 50 bucks, depending on the plan that you choose. Maybe the higher end one might go up 100 bucks. I'm not entirely sure. But just know that if you make it through the end of this video and you think you want to pick up Subscriber for yourself, definitely act right away so you can get the best deal. Okay, so here is my Subscriber account. This is the dashboard. Now, the first thing that I'm gonna do is actually connect up my channel. You can see right down here, it says add your first channel. There are a bunch of tools, like you can do a video breakdown to analyze your successful videos. You can do keyword research. You can have it generate titles or hooks. That's usually what people refer to as maybe the first 30 to 60 seconds in a video that kind of draws you in and gets you to watch the rest of it. We can also do descriptions, like the metadata for the video that you see down below the video, and tag generation. Tags are not very relevant to YouTube these days, so I don't really personally care about tags too much, but I'll try to give that a look before the end of the video, depending on how much time we have. All right, let's go ahead and connect up our YouTube channel here. I'm gonna hit this big red button, and then all it wants me to do is actually type in my handle. So for me, that's just Dave-Swift. Now, this is interesting because often with these types of tools, it'll actually make you authenticate through your Google account, and then it's gonna get all of the backend info about your channel. So your analytics, all the videos you publish, all of your monetization, you can really give up a lot of data here. So I both like and am concerned about the authentication here because it's just going to publicly scrape available information. Whereas if I did authenticate with Google, it would definitely get more data, but then they have access to all of my data. So, there is good and bad with that. All right, so it actually went ahead, took a minute or two here, and I've got my overall audience avatar that it was able to generate. Now, first of all, it's gonna give me a little description of what my audience is. And then I've got demographics, psychographics, online behavior, offline behavior. Very interesting because these are very similar to what you would get from Google Analytics. Like if you logged into your YouTube studio and go to the analytics section, it's gonna tell you a lot of this information. So I can tell you that some of it corresponds with what I see on my YouTube studio, and other parts of it just seems a little bit off. So if I don't like this, I can click right up here and it's going to regenerate the avatar, and I'll see if it does a better job this second time. All right, so it's regenerated a brand new avatar for me here, and looking through the demographics and psychographics, it did change a few things. Now, one thing I wish I could do is just go in here and just edit things. Like, I know the income range for this channel is a lot higher than just 30K to 60K. I know a lot of you out there have very successful businesses and you generate a lot more money than that. Also, some people are married, some people are not. So yeah, I wish I could tweak these to be a little bit more accurate, but you know what? Looking at most of it, if it created the content based on what it gathered here, by the way, there are some questions that the audience has. These are fairly accurate. If it generated content based on this, I think it would do a pretty good job. I mean, just pause the screen right now, look at this. Do you think it fits with who you are? Because it's describing you, the viewer of this video. All right, so now that I've got my audience avatar created, I can proceed to one of the next steps. Now, I could create a script right now, and there is a button to do that, but I want to investigate a little bit more first. Over here, I've got the voice section. This is where I can decide how my scripts are going to be composed. By default, it's gone ahead and just learned a voice based on my existing videos. And you know what? It's pretty good. Looking through the previews that it generates, I can generate a preview here. It gives me a prompt. It looks all right. It says, "Hey there, LTD addicts," kind of spells addicts interestingly. But overall, it sounds a lot like how I might speak inside of a video. However, if I wanted to create a different voice, I could easily do that. I'll just click here where it says new voice, give it a name, and then I can train it either on my own writing samples, or I can import transcripts from another YouTube channel. I'll just provide the handle here and it will create a voice in any channel that you want. So if you want to sound more like Mr. Beast, just go ahead and put his channel in there and it'll learn his style and write scripts in Mr. Beast's voice. Giving away hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, that's on you, but the script at least could be composed. And one other thing to change before you actually generate your first script is over here under settings, where we can set up our script defaults. There is an audience description here, which is very similar to the audience avatar that we generated. But the good news here is I can edit this. So I'm gonna say, maybe age 18 to 44, which I think is pretty accurate for the channel. And I want to go for a little bit longer of video. I think most of my videos tend to be right around 20 minutes. So let's set that up. I can choose a format here. It's going to be, how about educational? All right, so these are my defaults. I can change this every time I generate a script, but I don't want to have to monkey with things over and over again if I know it's going to be, right around this range. So let me go ahead and save these settings and let's go ahead and create our very first script. So over on the scripts page here, I'm going to choose create script. And then this is essentially like filling out a form. So I need a video topic, a format for the video, a target length, and a video title, which is optional. It can generate those for you. Notice that those settings I changed over here, those are the defaults. It's educational and a 20-minute video. If you create videos on your channel for multiple audiences, you'll be happy to know that you can customize that on a script by script basis. It's got your default settings over here. You can always modify that. If one video you're trying to maybe broaden out your audience a little bit, you can tweak that in these settings. Now, keep in mind that with my tier 2, I get 20 credits per month, and creating this script is already going to cost me 6 credits. So these things will go quickly, and we can actually use more credits later on when we do things like research. Now, I want to point out that all of the settings here are going to be basically the same unless you go to a compilation/listicle type of video, in which case you get a new option here to actually enter in the different topics for your video. So let's say I was going to make a taco truck roundup video where I take some of the more recent reviews that I've done and then condense them down into a single video. Well, for this type of video, I could enter in the different topics here, and then it'll create a script making sure to cover everything that I mentioned in the listicle or compilation. All right, I did decide to go with the listicle format. I'm gonna do one of my taco truck roundup videos. I've listed 5 of my recent reviews here. I set the length to be 15 minutes to make it a little bit shorter, and I'm gonna leave the video title area blank. Now, if we go down here, I can choose my language, my voice. If I created a custom voice, I could choose that right here. And then I can give it a script number if I'm keeping track of things. Maybe you've got a project management system that you plan out all your content in. This way the scripts can be, aligned correctly. So again, this is gonna cost me 6 credits. I'm only gonna have 14 left. Let's go ahead and create the script. Okay, so now on to the actual script generation process. The first step is a summary of all of the settings that I just chose. I could go ahead and edit things here if I felt like I made a mistake, But otherwise, I can proceed to the next step, which is going to be the research phase. This is where I can feed the AI up to 5,000 words and I can pay extra to increase that. So if I wanted to spend even more credits, go up to 45,000 words, I could give it 3 additional credits, and then I could feed it basically all of my existing scripts from these videos. Because that's how research works. We can either ask it to search the web on our behalf, we can add links of websites that are relevant, we can add videos and it'll actually get the transcripts off of those, we can add in our own text, or if we have any research that we've done previously, we could show that favorited research. Maybe it's a document that you use over and over again to create similar content. Well, as we add in the research, we can star it, and then it will be available for future or subsequent scripts that you create. Now, I actually have articles for every single review that I post on YouTube, so I think the easiest thing for me to do is just post those articles in. They're kind of like show notes. I usually link to them in the description, by the way, so if you want a written version of everything that you're seeing, definitely check out the show notes. I get those generated by AI as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and paste those in here. All right, now these will serve as my training data. I'm gonna go ahead and add them as a source. Hopefully this fits within my range of 5,000 words. I don't think it will, so I might have to spend an extra credit here. Just made it, 210 words available, so feeling pretty good. Of course, I could just add in my actual YouTube videos. Let's say there was a video you wanted to maybe create a response to, you could put the URL in here. It's gonna go ahead and transcribe that, and you'll have that as a source for your response script. Okay, so this is step 2. This is the research phase. Step 3 is what they call the frame stage, where you're actually getting the unique angle for your video. Like what's gonna make your video stand out from all of the other thousands of videos on YouTube. A pretty important part of the process. If you just try to regurgitate an existing video, no one really has any motive to watch that. Okay, so here are the frames that the AI came up with for my concept. We've got this one here of uncovering hidden gems. We've also got the ultimate AppSumo showdown. And then finally, the AppSumo roundup, the AppSumo toolkit revealed. I don't love any of these. What I like to do, what the purpose of the videos is to make keeping up with AppSumo easier. Here are the latest tools. Find out if any of them suit your needs. So I can actually talk to their AI and see if I can get it to generate maybe an angle more aligned with what I want to do. Okay, so I said, I want this roundup video to be helpful to viewers trying to keep up with the latest AppSumo releases / deals. Let's generate a unique angle here and see what it responds with. All right, the response here was pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. So it says LTD alert, 5 fresh LTDs you need to know about. The LTD roundup, 5 tools, 5 minutes, as well as AppSumo's hidden gems, uncovering 5 LTDs you might have missed. So none of these are absolutely perfect, but you know what? I'm gonna go with this one right here because it's probably closer aligned with what I wanna do. Of course, I could edit it if I wanted to. I can click on the pencil icon and actually dig right in and change it to be exactly what I want. If I want to iterate upon this, I just click the plus button and it's actually going to generate more like this one. So maybe that's a good thing to do before I just choose it. Let me see what else I can do. Yeah, I mean, like keep in mind that you're not spending credits to have it iterate upon different unique ideas here. So get the one you want because creating the script itself uses a lot of credits. All right, I actually really like these last two here. It says 5 LTDs reviewed, see if they're worth your hard-earned cash. And then the last one, which is probably what I'm gonna choose, is that we're gonna put these LTDs under the microscope to see if they live up to the hype. So that sounds good. I'm gonna go with that one right here, use this frame, and we can proceed to the next step, which is going to be the title. All right, so it's generating some title ideas right now. All right, so it generated some titles here and it gave me a lot of options to choose from, more than I expected actually. We've got at least 25 different options here, I would guess, just kind of eyeballing it. We've got things like 5 AppSumo tools you might regret missing. That's a pretty decent title. Discover 5 AppSumo tools that save hours of work. Would you click on that video? I don't know. I mean, it is a little bit clickbaity, but that's the point of YouTube. That's how YouTube works. So you have to be a little bit intriguing in order to get the actual title to be clicked on. Now I can write a response to these titles here. Like I'm gonna see if I just ask it which one it likes best, if it can pick it for me. I'm gonna say, which one do you think will get the most clicks? And then generate from that. I broke it. So you can't chat with it. It is definitely not a chat bot, even though it says like respond. It seems to be completely broken now. All right, reloading the page. I got my old ones back. My message is still here, but it didn't actually generate anything based on that. So I'm going to go with the 5 tools you didn't know your business needs. I could edit that or generate upon it. Actually, let's do it more like this. I'm very indecisive when it comes to these things. All right, I like the first one the best. Let's go with the 5 tools you didn't know your business needs. Hit the check mark there and we'll proceed to the thumbnail. All right, see what it does for thumbnail generation. This is gonna be very interesting. It actually just kind of dropped out on me. Let's try that again. Let's make a nice thumbnail. Oh, actually, here we go. It's got a concept for a thumbnail. It's not actually creating the artwork itself. It's more of like a prompt maybe you could use with another tool or just hand off to your designer. So here are some of the ideas. A split screen showing engaging, colorful logos of the 5 tools with the AppSumo taco mascot in the center. Or we've got a futuristic cityscape where each building is formed from the tool logos, symbolizing a thriving business ecosystem. All right, so these are fine. I don't know. It's pretty hard to basically create a roundup thumbnail that actually connects with people, especially for AppSumo products where the logos don't really mean a whole lot to you yet because you've never heard of the tool. So that is part of the challenge of creating AppSumo related content. And it might be part of the challenge that you face if you're going into a smaller niche as well. How do you connect with someone, get them intrigued by a thumbnail when they might not be aware of the subject or the product? That's part of learning how to game the YouTube system. So I'm just gonna go with this one right here, which is the colorful logos and the AppSumo mascot. Let's see what it does. Is it actually gonna create a thumbnail for me? No, it's moving right onto the hook section here. So that's gonna be that intro section to get people drawn into the video. All right, so I've got some hook ideas here. Let's go ahead and check out a few of them. So this would be like the intro, the very first thing you hear me say. Picture this, you're scrolling through AppSumo, overwhelmed by the sea of lifetime deals. How do you know which ones are worth your hard-earned cash? That's where I come in. I've done the heavy lifting for you, testing and reviewed 5 tools that stood out from the pack. By the end of the video, you'll know exactly which ones deserve a spot on your business toolkit. Let's dive in. I don't know, I probably wouldn't say that, but it's not terrible, is it? Or how about this one? Hey there, LTD addicts. It's time for another round of the Taco Truck Roundup. Today, we're serving up a spicy selection of 5 tools that could transform your business overnight. From AI-powered chatbots to lightning-fast website builders, we've got a buffet of tech goodness waiting for you, so grab your notepad and get ready to feast your eyes upon some game-changing deals. Yeah, there's literally a ton of different options here. I would say that I'd like for them to get more specific. Like rather than giving me too many options, have the AI iterate on things and find the ones that are best for me so I have even less work to do because quite honestly, this is a lot of options to choose from. It's kind of easy to get analysis paralysis. Again, all of the same options exist. We can choose this one, we can iterate upon it, we can edit it directly, or if we don't like it, we can hide it. I guess that's one way to kind of whittle down your choices. All right, I just got to read this one here. It's hilarious. 5, that's the number of tools I'm about to show you that could revolutionize your business. 4, that's how many of them you probably haven't heard of before. 3, that's how many minutes it'll take to explain each one. 2, that's how many times you'll say wow during this video. And 1, that's how many chances you'll have to grab these deals before they're gone. Ready to count down with me? Let's go. I can see my subscriber numbers just like plummeting if I started doing those types of intros. Okay, let's get to the draft here. All right, so I'm just gonna choose a hook here and proceed to the next step, which is the draft. Okay, so we've got another summary section here, which makes sure that you've chosen everything appropriately. It asks if your research is complete. You can check out your research, but otherwise we could either generate the outline or generate the outline and the draft, depending on how much of a hurry you're in. I'm gonna go right to generate the outline and draft. So here we go, it's doing the outline right now. Hopefully it covers every tool in the listicle because that was the whole purpose. All right, here comes the outline. Generating full draft. It's going through each item in the listicle, which is probably an outline item, so that's good. I think if I chose to generate the outline first, I could have it go through and just create each item individually. So if you want to have more control, definitely choose just to do the outline to begin with. However, I want this draft done. Let's go ahead and just get right to it. All right, it says generating full draft, almost done. Step 4 out of 7, but the loading bar is to the end here. So hopefully we have something momentarily. I'd say it's taken maybe like 45 seconds so far. So edit it down, it'll seem like no time at all, but there's a slight delay. All right, now we're on to step 7, maybe been 2-3 minutes at this point. Here we go, we've got our actual script. So the draft has the different sections. We've got our intro, and then we go right into the first tool, avocado. We got roundups, crispy, then go, cosmic, and conclusion. All right, I am tempted to just make this video exactly as is and post it on the channel, but I'm not going to do that. We could go through and refine this. You can read through it. You can choose the little right option here and just type right on the screen. It does have a full editor. And if you wanted to move different sections around, that you can click the little gear icon here and move up or down, or even just delete an entire section. If you like the section and you like the placement, but you just want to have it take another shot at this section, you can go over here where it says plan, and then you can have it regenerate the draft based on the outline. So this would be a glimpse of what you'd get if you didn't do outline and generate all in one step. You would just see the outline here. And then once you like the overall outline, then you can generate a draft. And you could even choose a specific voice and a length based on this section. So maybe, you have one narrator reading one section, then you cut to another talent member. Well, then you could have that in their voice, which could be a really cool option. In fact, that's a really good distinguishing feature of this tool versus using something like ChatGPT, where you could have multiple voices inside of the same script. So it doesn't matter if you're doing like a murder mystery podcast or a tech review from multiple angles of different users. Well, you could have a different voice for each section. That's a pretty nice feature. Now, for each section in the script, you can also go into the research tab over here, which is all of the information that it's trained on in order to write this part of the script. So let's say I wanted to edit the research, like maybe some of the information that I learned later was wrong. I could go in and edit the research so that when it generates a new version, it's going to use the most up-to-date research. Okay, so when you're generally happy with your script, you don't have to make it perfect. You proceed to the next section, which is the edit section. Here it says, all right, your draft is done. Now let's make it better by reviewing it and editing it. You can only do this once, so make sure you're satisfied with the overall structure and content of your draft before moving forward. So make sure that structure and the content is where you want it, and then you can get some feedback from the AI, which will basically read the script as it is and then try to improve it. I find that this is really one of the differentiating steps that makes some AI output better than others. Many people are tempted to just take the first result and go, see, AI sucks. But if you ask it to think about it a little bit further, try again, how could you improve this? You keep doing that, and generally things end up getting a whole lot better. So very smart of the subscriber developer to include this inside of the tool. Let's see how it actually improves things. All right, so we've got some edits. The original word count was about 2,600, and it's reduced that to right around 2,400. Now, if I want to blindly accept all of these edits, I can do so, but otherwise I can go through and basically see a diff here, everything that's changed, how does it improve? Basically, the original versus the rewritten. So original is in red, rewritten is in green. It also describes the changes. So it says it condenses the opening rhetorical questions to remove the slight redundancy. It introduces a vivid metaphor, and it strengthens the transition by stating that each tool has been handpicked to target key business challenges faced by small business owners. Now, the only problem is that it hasn't been handpicked. It's been picked because it was the tools available on AppSumo. That's why they were picked. So, there's some things to change here. I'll probably decline this edit. In section 2, it's gone ahead and removed some repetition. It's added a concrete example or analogy. It's tightened up the pricing discussion, and it's reordered sentences so that they focus more on the features and benefits that lead into the performance results rather than splitting them up to make the section be a little bit smoother. So yeah, you can go through this entire script and see all of the suggested changes. The only thing I would like here is maybe the option to modify this right here. Like, I want to take this part, but not this part. Instead, you have to do it on an entire section by section. I just went ahead and accepted all of the edits to move on to the next step. Overall, I feel like this revision process was helpful, but I'd like a little bit more control. All right, so the next step is the review. It shows me some stats about my script here. Basically, I've got my thumbnail description, my word count, my reading grade. So this is for 8th graders. Then I've got my speaking time and my readability. If I wanted to download the script, I could do so right here or just copy it to my clipboard. I could do the same thing with the research and share the design brief with my designer. I can open this up to view the brief as well. Overall, this is pretty helpful in terms of a design brief. I might want to have multiple versions, especially now that YouTube does ABC testing for thumbnails. So it'd be cool to be able to have like the A/B testing built right in here, but it does pull in my recent videos. So if you wanted to work with a designer, This would be a great way to kind of showcase your existing thumbnails as well as what you want them to bring to the table. In case you're curious, the downloadable files for the script and the research are going to be in the docx format. All right, let's move on to the last step here, which is to actually publish our video. Now, of course, you need to go away and actually make the video, edit it, export it, upload it to YouTube, but then you can come back to this screen and it's gonna give you the title, the description, and the tags. So we can generate a description here, we can generate some tags, and then just copy and paste this right into our YouTube studio. Okay, I've got my description here and it gives me a few different choices. I've got an informative version, a narrative, and an SEO focused version. But you know what? There's no way to actually supply information so that when it generates the description, it includes things like your social media links or maybe your affiliate links. You know, lots of YouTubers like to recommend certain products and they put that in their description. Well, it'd be nice if I could just supply that to the tool and then every single description that it generates is going to include the proper links. I can easily copy and paste it into YouTube Studio. So I do see that as a major downside. Also, timestamps, it's just kind of guessing on these, right? It would be really, really nice if I could actually give it the URL of my existing YouTube video and it could generate the chapter markers for me. There is a way to do that. So it's possible, technically at least, but not here currently. So just thinking about some future ideas for maybe things they could iterate upon to improve the tool. Here are some of the tags that it generated, so I could copy these, select them if I wanted to use them inside of YouTube, and then just, paste them in. Tags are kind of dated. I would not be surprised if YouTube just does away with tags altogether. I don't think they're very helpful, especially as YouTube is utilizing AI to index literally everything. We don't need tags anymore. All right, that is it. That is literally everything in this tool. Now, I do want to point out that there is this dashboard here where you can go into do just a portion of what we just saw. So if you just want to generate tags, you could do that. But overall, if you're going from beginning to end with the script, you're going to hit all of their tools in the process. Overall, this is a pretty great tool. If I were to stick with this and continue to use it for my channel, I'd probably upgrade from tier 2 because I don't feel like 20 credits is going to be enough for as many videos as I create per month, which tends to be anywhere from like 17 to 25 videos a month. Definitely a unique snowflake there. So if you wanted to get more, you can go all the way up to tier 5 to get 400 credits. And in that situation, you're probably going to be doing all right. When I first saw that at the beginning of the video, I thought 400 seems like a lot. But if you're actually using maybe like 10 credits per video because it's 6 to create the script and you want to do some extra research, well, then you're looking more at like 40 videos per month, and probably not every script you generate is going to be made. So you want to have a little bit of headroom there. If your output is a lot less than the 20 to 30 videos that I create per month, well, then you can probably get by with say tier 3 or tier 4, which is going to give you right around 1 or 2 videos per week. All right, I'm going to give you my final score and final thoughts here in a moment, but I want to remind you to go ahead and hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave me a comment for the algorithm, boost this up and help grow the reach of the channel. It truly means so much. So, subscriber, I really like this tool. I think the overall flow of utilizing the tool, very, very intuitive and helpful. Even if you don't use the script directly, it's going to point you in the right direction and help you think about angles that you might overlook otherwise. Trust me, doing some pre-production can make the entire video go so much smoother. You don't want to end up with hours and hours of footage that you have to edit out. That's just going to eat more time. You might as well do the pre-production. So whether you're an aspiring YouTuber or you want to up your game, I definitely would check out Subscriber and see if it fits in with your workflow. I'm going to give this one an 8.2 out of 10. I think it has a very bright future ahead of it. I'd love to see it add some of those features that I mentioned, such as creating chapter markers after the video has been created and uploaded. It would also be really cool if they could do things like save those presets for your descriptions. That really saves a ton of time for creators. And yeah, we're just looking for those little ways to lower the friction so you can create content faster that still is in your own unique voice. So I think that really aligns with their mission. So if you want to go ahead and grab a copy of Subscriber, I've got my link in the description. Hit me up in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next review.